Yeah.
So 1 Corinthians 14:40 says,
Let all things be done decently and in order.
yeah, so this is what we are discussing, and this is where we got stuck. Okay, let's continue.
That means we have to study order. If we don't understand what order means, we can't do everything in order.
Right. If we don't understand what order means, we can't do everything in order. And if we don't even understand what disorder means, that's why we stopped and we are talking about these things. Okay.
I know that each of us has much to do. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed by the task we face, but if we keep our priorities in, Pastor, what is there? What's there? In is in black. In order, okay, we can accomplish all that we should. We can endure to the end, regardless of temptations, problems, and challenges.
Order will make us to overcome any challenges. National building, national development. If we put order in place, that's what it's trying to say. If we put order in place, we will be able to overcome any challenges, problems, or temptations. Any of them could be surmounted if we could just introduce order into the system.
So we need analysis and understanding what order is.
Okay.
What is order? Order is the way in which people or things are placed or arranged in relation to each other.
Order is?
Order is the state in which everything is in the right place, or something is as it should be.
Okay, say that again.
So this order is the state in which everything is in the right place, or something is as it should be.
Then go ahead.
Order is the state that exists when people obey laws, rules, or authority.
Okay.
Order brings decency.
Okay.
What is decency?
We didn't have video yet. We didn't see any video place yet. Okay. Okay.
Decency is the quality of following accepted moral standards.
Okay.
Decency is the quality or condition of being decent. Property of conduct and speech, proper behavior.
Propriety.
Okay, propriety of conduct and speech, proper behavior, modesty, courtesy, etc. Socially proper actions, the properties, things needed for a proper or comfortable standard of living.
Okay, video here. Let's now. Let me tell you what I'm about to show now. What I'm about to show you now is the fact that order, you don't come to order automatically. Order is not created, you have to put that off. Order is not created just by itself. You don't just come by order chaotically. Order is not just formulated or created by itself. So that's why we are taking so much time to understand what order is and what disorder is as well. Now, what I'm about to show you now is a film, a clip or short film of how the United States of America, who has been to the U.S.? You live there. Okay. You live there. Okay. If you've been to the U.S., you'll see that it's a different country and it's a civilized, highly advanced country, even in people's interaction with each other. And you'll be wondering, how did these people become like this? Were they just born like this? I want to tell you that no, they were not born like that. And especially in the United States, where people come from different ethnic groups, different cultures, and different religion and different influences, it is difficult in such a society to build a country like America has become. It's almost impossible because it's a complex society. It's supposed to be worse than when it's a monoculture. That is a polyculture. So It's almost impossible to build a society like America, especially with all the complexes there. But America, in fact, you know what I tell my members here? I tell them like this: if you have not been to America, at least to live there for 1 year or 2 years, or to go there up and down frequently. Now, there are things also that could be fixed there. That's a lot of problems, right? But when you compare it to any other country, it's the most ideal country that has ever been created. America is the most ideal country you ever see. Especially in building society, in interaction with people, and things like that. Now, how did they come across this kind of America? How did they bring about this America? Let me tell you how. In the 50s, after the war, that is when most of these modern civilizations were created. They discovered that they had a lot of challenges, because before the war, America had what they call repression. Is it repression you call it? Recession, I think they call it, right? The Great Depression, yeah. It used to be called the Great Depression. They had the Great Depression. And during the time of Great Depression, armed robbers were everywhere. It's like Nigeria now. Thieves were everywhere. Hunger was everywhere. People were prostituting, stealing, even eating people, even, what do you call it? Cannibalism. I mean, things were so bad. Hunger. So after the World War, after the World War, prosperity and some kind of sanity began to come back to the society. So what America did is that they started Nollywood in the 30s. So Nollywood, they used to have pastors, sociologists, psychologists on the board of Nollywood. Is it Nollywood? Hollywood. Nollywood is the Nigerian one. Okay, this one is Hollywood. They started Hollywood. And the reason for Hollywood is to bring about the values of the society of the future that we want. The film industry was to create the value system of the perfect or the ideal society. They said, what is the ideal society that we want to create? And this is for people like the future president of Nigeria, Babi Shaye, and who want to confront value systems. So they created the film industry for it to formulate value systems. So when you now look at the film industry in Nigeria and Nollywood, you see that it's not created for any purpose connected or related to value system. It's money-making machine. So I want to now show you the kind of films that Nollywood was doing in the 30s, in the 40s, and in the 50s. How they started. What kind of films were they creating? All these films were all around the subject of how to bring about good people, valued people, people of virtues, and how to build a society of harmony and of virtuous people. So the Americans you see today is as a result of the value system that were laid in the 30s, 40s, 50s. So even though other people are now coming from other cultures to join them, the overwhelming population, dominant population, is behaving like this. So you just flow along automatically, whether you want it or not. Even though the people, the next generation coming, they might not have been taught, but because they're relating with 80%, 90% of the people who have been taught, they adapt easily. So what are those value systems? What are those cultural standards? Which of my books where I wrote, is it in Calling and Purpose, where I wrote the values that made up America? No, it's not, is it? 13 values. No, okay, that is Dignity of Labor, no? No, I think I've not published it. It's another book that I'm still planning to, Protestant Values, I think. Yeah, I think I've not released that yet. Okay, don't worry. Anyway, so, but throughout this week, I am going to be taking one value system that Americans want, and how they taught ordinary citizens to live by virtues. So the one, I don't know the one that we are going to see now, but every day I'm going to be showing you a different one. Grooming. Okay, okay, give me some topics of some of the things of those videos that we are going to show you. Do you have a list of the topics? For example, they will teach you, Hollywood will do a video of maybe 30 minutes video or 5 minutes video or 10 minutes video. And the whole family will sit there in the evening to watch. And you know, a topic, it could be a topic like how to brush your teeth, how to use toothpaste and toothbrush. Can you believe it? The whole country, and they will show that like a whole year, 5 years, how to use toothbrush, toothpaste. Can you imagine that America, that's supposed to be a free country, that they were even doing this? For example, they will go, because there was only one channel in those days, only one television something. So they will do a film, for example, and they will show women and men who brush their teeth. And they will also show you how to treat a woman, for example, how to relate to a girl, how to propose to a girl, how husband and wife are supposed to sit by the table, how to eat a dinner, how to cook, how to dress, how to be well presentable in the society, what to dress in at home, and what not to dress in the street, and what to dress in the street, how to appear in the street. Order. So the order we see in America today is as a result of a system that was produced. It's not just that any Hollywood or Nollywood filmmaker is just producing any rubbish that they want. Everything was regulated and controlled under some certain value system. Can you imagine it if we give the value system that Nollywood Nigeria should produce films about? And the school education is like that. And this thing was not just being done by the Nollywood, but the Hollywood in America. Hollywood is doing their own, school system is doing their own, churches are doing their own, so the whole society, that's how value systems are created. Let's look at the 8th film here. Okay. Volume. Let it play. Stop. So the topic today is body care and grooming. Can you believe it? Hollywood, film industry, Nollywood, film industry, Nollywood, Hollywood, film industry, Hollywood, and national television, sitting the whole country down just to discuss body care. Who does that? It's new, even in homes now, in families. People are ashamed of telling each other. The husband will be ashamed of telling the wife of body care. The wife will be ashamed of telling the husband about body care. But this was national television. Because they know that they need to formulate and create a society that is civilized, a society that is well groomed, a society that is a virtuous society. They want to create a society. They have a vision. And that's one of the first things that I want to do in Nigeria when I get to Nigeria. To influence the government to call together all film producers and give them a set of value systems that all their films will rotate about. Hard work, dignity of labor, diligence, faithfulness, order. Can you imagine if all the films of Nollywood are about virtues, and everybody is sitting there and watching them? Then you go to the school system, you repeat the same thing. Then you go to the churches, Because that's one of the things I would do, to call all the churches, all denominations, all you Muslims, and give them a set of value systems that they must all promote in their messages. They have to preach their messages, but let them include, let them be about values, not about miracles, not about breakthrough, not about some chanting and some rubbish. But let them teach people about hard work. Let them, their Bible talks about hard work. Their Quran talks about hard work. All these values are in their religion. Let them that this is our national priority right now. So anywhere you go to school, you hear about value system. You go to movie, you hear about value system. You watch television, you hear about value system. That is how we can change our people. I don't know if people are getting it. And that's what I wrote in that book, how to discovering the callings and purpose of every nation. Okay? Go ahead. You know, it's from correlated with textbook of healthful living. You see, they took a textbook and make a movie out of it. So all these my books, that's what I'm planning to do. All these my books, they are going to become movies like this that are going to be teaching value systems. All these virtues, all these values systems. So these are some of the strategies that I have. Well, I can talk about it. I'm not sure they are going to do it or they are going to listen in Nigeria, but that's why I'm waiting for myself to arrive there, because I know what I want to do. If anybody wants to do it, also let them do it. But if they will not do it, I will do it. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, if you go to America and you want to know how America became like that, they will not tell you. You can live in America for 50 years. You will not even know that this happened. Even Americans themselves will not tell you, because they didn't study it. But for me, this is my calling. This is my passion. Principles of growing nations, developing and bringing, development and civilization of nations. So I know these things. That's why I know about Germany. That's why I know about America. That's why I know how I can tell you the stories of all these countries involved. But most people will not be able to tell you because they didn't study. Hello, do we have coffee there? Can anybody go there and take some coffee and some cookies? You have cookies and coffee. Everything. I told you people yesterday, the other day, that everything must always be there. Hello? Yeah, you have to have cookies there every day, because we're here all day. And some people are having jet lag, like my sister here. Go get some coffee, or get her some coffee. Yeah, get her some coffee. So you must make sure we have all those things there. I'm sorry, guys. Now let's go.
Ah, spring, when birds are on the wing, when flowers bloom. Spring, when a young man's fancy lightly turns to thought. What's the matter? Exam week getting you down? What you need is to put down that notebook and take in some of the beauties of nature. See what I mean? But wait a minute, young lady. How did you get into this picture? You see, we're trying to prove a point about nature and beauty, and you're not exactly helping, you know. Look at your hair. Look at that blouse. And the way that skirt hangs. And those socks. Sorry, there must have been a mistake. You don't seem to be exactly the type to make this guy behave like a human being. But wait a minute. Come back. Let's start all over again. Oh, brother. Oh, brother is right. Look at that hair, that skin, that mouth. And now look at that blouse. And now look at the skirt. And the socks. Thanks a lot for helping us prove a point. And you too know the value of a good appearance. In fact, you all know that a good appearance is a must, not only to your college life now, but to your business and professional lives in the future. But good appearance is more than dressing up like a fashion plate. Anyone will make a good appearance if he's neat, no matter what his style of clothing. Clothes are important. Besides fitting well and looking well, the clothes should be appropriate to the occasion. Wearing inappropriate clothes, like these shoes, is a sure way to make yourself uncomfortable and conspicuous. But good grooming is more than clothes deep. Good grooming starts with personal care. This principally means the care of your hands, your hair, your teeth, and your skin. Let's begin with the skin by taking a look at it from the doctor's point of view. You'll find that skin is a complex living tissue, whose proper care requires a basic understanding of what it is and what it does. In this highly magnified section through the skin, we see that skin is made up of various layers. Individual cells of the outer layer are constantly drying out and dropping off to be replaced by the growing cells of the layers below.
You will see that apart from schools, they teach these things in schools. They teach them in through television. All televisions show these things. Nollywood, Hollywood is showing the thing. Then they have this thing they have in American culture called City Hall, I think they call town hall meetings. Town hall meetings. This is an example of a town hall meeting where everybody have to go to in the evening, on weekend, and sit down to learn value systems. Is Nigeria so organized like that? Why are you surprised that we don't have order, we don't have system, everybody drive anyhow? Because our government, nobody thinks about these things. They think that things will just come up by themselves. They will be telling you the budget, we have budgeted this for road, for this. What about human being? Nobody thinks. But today in America, nobody does this anymore because the foundation has been set. So this is now passed across automatically. Okay, let's go ahead.
Skin differs in thickness and texture on various parts of the body, such as on the lips, the eyelid, or the feet. Perhaps the most familiar example of skin specialization is on your fingertips. Here the skin is grooved to help you hold smooth objects. Almost all skin is richly provided with nerves, which give the skin an amazing sensitivity to outside stimuli. Hence, the skin acts as a sensory organ for the protection of the body as a whole. And skin serves to protect you still another way, by providing one of the first physical signs of illness or disease. Most skin also contains hair. The hair roots are located below the skin surface. Most commonly, hairs are found in association with the sebaceous or oil glands. These oil glands often empty directly into the hair follicle or opening, by means of which the oil reaches the skin surface. The purpose of this oil is to soften and lubricate the hair and skin. Another gland found in the skin is the sweat gland. Sweat glands open directly into the skin and discharge sweat through individual openings or pores. Sweating is one of the chief functions of the skin. The main value of sweating is the control of body heat, brought about by the evaporation of sweat from the skin surface. Most everyone sweats under one circumstance or another. Besides accumulating sweat, the skin is also constantly picking up dirt, dust, grit, and other foreign particles. And because the skin has lots of openings in its surface, these foreign particles, most of them loaded with bacteria, may enter the skin and start an infection. Such an infection, if untreated or irritated, could develop into a widespread inflammation or even blood poisoning. Don't let this happen to you. Protect your skin. Keep it looking clear and fresh. Keep it clean. The best way to clean your skin is still the old-fashioned use of soap, hot water, and plenty of elbow grease. And the result is well worth the effort. You don't need scientific proof of it. You can feel it. In addition to soap and water, there are other good aids for cleaning your skin. One of these is cleansing cream. Many girls find this helpful in removing cosmetics. However, nothing can take the place of your daily bath or shower. This is the time to give your skin a good, invigorating workout. If there is no visible dirt to wash off, there are body odors to be eliminated by cleansing your skin of dried sweat, skin scales, and dust, which accumulate constantly. Your bath or shower should end with a brisk rinsing to carry away all soapy residue. This is really the best part of the shower. It stimulates the skin and wakes it up all over.
Are you believing it?
Bathing and toilet articles should be kept for your own personal use. Don't share them with others. You wouldn't use another person's toothbrush, so don't use their towel or toilet articles.
You see? Order.
And it goes without saying that only clean lingerie should go next to that clean skin. While it may not be necessary for all of you, some girls use a lubricating cream or lotion to prevent skin roughness or chapping. Expensive creams and powders, however, aren't necessary. A healthy skin can be kept attractive with only a few simple preparations. The removal of hairs is sometimes a problem. You can take care of single hairs with a pair of tweezers. But for leg and underarm hair, your best bet is a safety razor. Don't worry that shaving the hair will make it grow back either faster or denser. That isn't true. But it is true that chemical hair removers have been found harmful to the skin in some cases.
Can you believe it?
Nail polish is harmless,
Television.
but you should remove it for short periods in order to prevent cracking of the fingernail. Women usually take better care of their nails than men do. Many men let their nails get long and ragged and ignore their cuticles. For good nail care, a nail brush is indispensable.
Stop.
Nails provide
Nail brush. Who even knows about nail brush in Africa? Who produces them? Who even know they exist? See, this is how value systems are created. These are the things I'm planning to do in Nigeria. So when I'm talking right now, people don't even know that I'm not even talking 1% of what I'm planning to do. I'm just starting with the religious people because that's just the elementary ones. I'm going to go complex. That's why I'm writing all these books. I have picture of exactly what I want to create. I have someone here that is going to do some presentation of practical things, how we are going to resolve Nigerian problems that we already have ready. All these issues are going to be dealt with. I have greater battles to fight than all these ones on Facebook. These ones are nothing. I've not even started anything yet. I'm just stimulating you people right now. Because I have more complex issues to resolve, how to resolve the problem of every nook and cranny of Nigerian society. I think, do you want to still watch it, or I think you get an idea, or you want to continue? Continue. There are different, you want to see? There is nothing to see there, I think. I think you got the idea. You can go and look at it if you want. Go and look at it in the YouTube. I think you can go and see it in the YouTube. But this is just for you to have an idea that, things could be addressed like this. Film industry could be addressed like this. Okay, let's go to the next video. No, is it the next video? Okay, let's go to, first of all, let's read some slides, then we'll come back to the video. Okay.
Examples of order. Our nose is not on top of our head. Our mouth is not under our feet.
Why is it that our mouth is not under our feet? Why? Huh? Everything is in order. Why is it that our mouth is not under your feet? Why is that God didn't put it there? That is one proof that we are not just a chaotic creation coming from some blows. If we had been coming from some blast, then anything would just be anywhere. But the fact, the order in creation shows that there is an intelligent being. There is a God that knows what he's doing. That's why our mouth is not under our feet. Our nose is not on top of our head. Why is it that your nose is not on top of your head here? This place here. So that the rain will directly go into it. And oxygen will go into it directly. Why is it that nose is here and not here? Those things show that there is a God that is calculative, that knows exactly what he's doing. So to be an atheist is one of the most foolish things anybody could ever consider. How could you be an atheist when you see so much order? You have to be crazy. In fact, I now understand why when the Bible says only crazy people, what does it say? Only a fool. In the Russian language, it says only people who have lost their mind. We say there is no God. I like that better than fool. Only crazy people, people who have lost their mind, lunatics, will think that there is no God. Because we cannot see this order. Why is it that your mouth is not under your feet? If it is by accident, it will even be here itself. And it will not collaborate with your intestines and everything like that. These things cannot be by accident. It takes an intelligent God to be able to put everything so much intelligently together. Do you know that up to now, science has not discovered how to fix everything, how everything works? So much intelligence. All universities of the world can still not understand how everything functions. Mm-hmm. And we are saying it is just accident. How can accident create something that's so perfect that even universities cannot figure out up to today? Because there is a God that is intelligent, that is more intelligent than us. So the mouth is not under our feet because there is a God that put everything in order. Our nose is not on top of our head because there is an intelligent God that put everything in order. God is a God of order. Let's continue.
God is not the author of confusion or author
of confusion.
Order makes things work smoothly, peacefully, and without stress.
That's one of the advantages of order. That's one of the advantages of order. Smooth walking, peaceful walking without stress.
The universe.
Okay. Before we do this, the universe, let's go back to the other video that we had there. So let's see another value system that America was grooming in their people. Moja binisisha ni srazu tre bude. Ah? Eta bude. Nene tam je bili tam eti ili eta shashita bude. Three bila perwe. Okay, let's see another value system that Americans were grooming their people. This one is responsibility, right? Okay, let's see how American society developed responsibility in their people. Okay.
Hello, I'm Jim Gordon. The people I work with call me Mr. Gordon. At least when I'm around, they do. They're about your age. That's right, your age. You see, I'm principal of Lincoln High School. My job is to help boys and girls be the kind of young men and women they'd like to be. Capable, educated, and responsible.
Stop.
This sheet of...
That is the director of a high school. He has just given you right now the function of a high school director. Let's hear that again. What is high school for? Not just to give knowledge or scholarship. Let's hear what it says about his description of a high school director. Okay, play it.
Hello, I'm Jim Gordon. The people I work with call me Mr. Gordon. At least when I'm around, they do. They're about your age. That's right, your age. You see, I'm principal of Lincoln High School. My job is to help boys and girls be the kind of young men and women they'd like to be. Capable, educated, and responsible. This sheet of paper is mighty important to two of...
Educated is just one little part. But capable, responsibility, and being all you want to be, all you can be. That is all what school is all supposed to be about. You see, these things have to be defined. Can you imagine if this is defined to all the teachers and all the directors, all the principals of schools? They know that they are not just making people to give exams, but to become the best human beings possible. So, but these things have to be done consciously, in an informed manner. Not just assume that, oh, maybe somebody will be lucky to become somebody. Another person is not so lucky. So these things have to be in systems. They have to be consciously executed. Okay, let's continue.
Will be the kind of young men and women they'd like to be. Capable, educated, and responsible. This sheet of paper is mighty important to two of our young people. I don't know what's on it, but I do know that it could make a big difference in the lives of Hank Evans and Lloyd Smith. However, the contents of the paper would make the most difference to Hank Evans. Before I look at it, I'd like to tell you some things about Hank Evans. And I know more about him than he thinks I know. Hank Evans came to Lincoln High School from Lowell School. His older sister Vera had been one of our best students, and we were glad to have another Evans at Lincoln. It was the opening day of school, and Hank was in the midst of...
Jane Cox? Here. Henry Evans?
Here.
You're Vera Evans' brother, aren't you? I have Vera...
Yeah, I'm a brother, but can't I be just plain Hank Evans?
Lloyd Smith?
Here. Hank Evans had a right to expect that he be treated as an individual, not just as Vera Evans' younger brother. But it's the things that come out after you've known a person a while that really tell you about him. For instance, about the third week of school in Miss Jackson's English class,
So you can tell where the ability of honoring individuals in America is coming from. Because they have been trained like this. Don't just say this is your sister, this is somebody's wife. Oh, this is Mr. Something's wife. This is something's brother. This is somebody's sister. Treat everybody as individual. He expects to be treated as individual. Now, how does the American society become like that? Because they were taught in different areas. Leave every detail. Okay, let's go.
Hank decided.
Very important to discover why Shakespeare introduced the ghost into... Now, just a moment now, just a minute. Will you please follow through on chapters 9 and 10, just as you did chapter 1A, and be ready to discuss them tomorrow? You got that now? Chapters 9 and 10. All right, we may go now.
Hi, Sam. Hi, Lloyd. How's the boy? How are you? Hi, John.
Next to you.
Hi, Don. How are you? Oh, why don't they let us out of class on time? I've got to go clear over to the other side of the building. Oh, I know what you mean. I got the same...
Miss Jackson, I'm sorry, but I didn't get the complete assignment for tomorrow. There was so much noise in the hall.
I know, and I'm sorry. It's chapters 9 and 10. Read them and be ready to discuss them tomorrow.
Chapters 9 and 10. Read and be ready to recite in class, as we have been doing. Is that it?
That's it. And I promise not to wait until the end of the period to make the assignment next time.
Thank you.
I'm glad that's done. Homework in every class of Miss Jackson's. So wonder she didn't... Say, she did say something about 2 chapters. But what? And what 2 chapters?
The thing that the principal talked about in the beginning, education, responsibility, capability, becoming everything you want. This is what they are now demonstrating out. You see the way a student is supposed to behave when you don't understand the teacher. Go for an appointment. Ask the question. When they told you the answer, repeat it out. Voice it out. Write it down. That's how they were teaching responsibility. Then the teacher also take responsibility for the noise. They made sure that there was noise after the class. Take responsibility. She said she's sorry for that. Then she repeated the thing. Then she said, did you get it? Say attitude. Who is teaching you attitude in Nigeria like this? Everybody to their own thing. Everybody just anyhow. Insulting everybody. But let's keep on seeing this. Can you believe it? These are the kind of thing we need to go back to. And nobody is thinking about that right now in Africa. Go ahead, let's play.
All finished with it? Yeah, all I can get. I think I was supposed to do some English, but I don't know. And you better find out? Oh, gee whiz, how can I? She threw some stuff at us right at the end of the hour. Nobody could have got it if I did. They might have. Why don't you call someone? Oh, all right. I'll call Lloyd Smith. Maybe he'll know. 2903. Lloyd? Hank. Hey, what did Miss Jackson assign for class tomorrow?
Well, she said to read chapters 9 and 10. I guess she meant so we could decide on them just as we have been doing. Anyway, that's what I'm going to study. If we don't do it tomorrow, we'll have to do it later anyhow.
But you don't know for sure. Well, thanks, Lloyd. Goodbye. Chapters 9 and 10. Maybe. If it's not 9 and 10, well, then I've read them for nothing. Besides, I've done enough work for one night.
Perhaps Hank wasn't entirely to blame that he wasn't prepared for English class the next day. But Beverly Anderson was prepared. She had taken it upon herself to make sure what she was supposed to do, and had written it down so it wouldn't slip her mind. Lloyd Smith could contribute to the class discussion too, because he had learned that you can't let things slide and expect to keep up. And Hank? Oh, he had a couple of bad moments. He hardly knew what was being talked about, but he managed to avoid being called on to recite, and no one except himself was the wiser. I could unfold this slip of paper right now and see whether we, the teachers and I, have been wrong, and Hank Evans has been right. Does it make any difference if you let things slide once in a while? But let me tell you another incident in Hank's career. He and Lloyd Smith used to get their lessons together. It was an even-up proposition. Neither one of them did more work than the other.
Quantity x minus 3 times quantity x minus 5. Hey, look here, Lloyd. This isn't going to prove out. We've got a mistake somewhere.
Well, maybe it's up here in this first substitution. Hey, how'd that 5 get in there?
Hey, that's it. How'd we miss that? Let's see.
Well, it's going to factor now.
Sure it is. Of all the dumb mistakes. And that finishes the problems, too.
This is all our societies. You saw how women are supposed to behave at home, how housewives are, everything, how housewives are supposed to behave, how husbands are supposed to behave. They are filmed for everything. How students are supposed to behave, how teachers are supposed to behave, how interactions are supposed to. But we just expect everything to just happen chaotically. We know there are schools, we just have schools, that's all. We build schools, send your children to school, no. Nobody teaching anybody. Even right now, as we are showing these things, some people think these are just trivialities. And in fact, even in the Facebook, people are just dropping out because what is that? It's some old something. But we could learn from these things so that we could create our future. Okay, let's go back to the notes.
Order makes things.
Wait. So I'm going to go back. So God is not the order. He's not the author of confusion. But God is the author of order. It makes things work smoothly, peacefully, and without stress. Now, that's how God created the universe. The whole universe is created in order. Can you read?
Yeah, Genesis 1:6, verse 11. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters.
That is all in order. That's not just by accident, yes?
And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so.
All these are in order.
Yes.
Okay.
And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so.
Now, all these things we are seeing here, everybody call this creation, an act of creation. But creation here is just 1/3. 2/3 of what is done here is just order. So the act of creation is 1/3 creation and 2/3 order. Order itself is an act of creation. That's what this thing is teaching us. But let's continue. I didn't forget. Go ahead.
And the earth brought forth grass, and the herb yielding seed after its kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after its kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also.
Okay, you will see that there are places where God said, let there be, and then God made. So there are places that when he said, let there be, it's arranging. That is order. When he said he made, that's when he created. So we should know that our whole functionality on earth, there's a big part of it that is meant for order. Okay?
And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good.
You see, every time you are saying divide, that is order being put in place, not creation. It's just dividing what has already been created and putting them in segments. Okay?
And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly, after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful, and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day.
Okay, you will see that a great part of everything that God has given unto us, we don't need more blessing. You will discover that even with God, He didn't need to create things new all the time. It is not more blessing, more something you need sometimes, but the ability to put everything in their right place. The ability to put everything in their right place and in the right order. That will bring about 2/3 of everything you need in life. Management. Management is more important than provision. Management is more important than provision. That is to say, management of resources is more important than the resource itself. And until we understand that, we will be making a lot of fools about how much resources we have, how much wealth we have, how much natural resources we have, how many people we have. But what is more important than that is the management of it, therefore. Yeah. Because even if you have all the natural resources in the world, if you don't learn the act of management, which is the ordering, the order, the proper arrangement of things, all those resources and blessings that you say you have will turn to be a curse to you. Yeah. Same thing with order. Putting all those things that God has blessed you with in order is by far more important than having new things. Most of the time we think that it is the things that we don't have that is responsible for our condition and situation. But no, it is what you do or you don't do with what you already have that is responsible for your situation and condition. It is not about what you lack, but what you do with what you already have. Do you have the ability to manage and to place order and put in order the things that are already available to you? Or you are always fusing and looking forward to those things that are not even there and thinking that you are miserable because of what you don't have. Meanwhile, you are miserable because of what you don't do with what you already have. That's what God is telling us here. And when by the time you study this, I'm going to break all these things down. We are just reading now. But by the time we break them down, you will discover that, so what God was doing in chapter 1 of Genesis was not too much of creation. No. 2/3 of what he was doing was putting order in place. He will create one thing and make order. And as a result of order, you have 3 products. But he only created one. But you get 3 products thanks to order. So the fact that we have Nigeria that is blessed with all these nationalities and all these languages and all these people groups and all these natural resources is zero and is nothing. I hate to keep on hearing, oh, that we have so much, oh, we are so wealthy, we have so much natural resources. But I don't care. If you don't have management of those things, you don't have anything. What is even more important than what you have is how you know how you manage. Do you know the process of management and the process of order or not? If you don't know the law of order, and you cannot orderly arrange and put in proper disposition and their proper place, all those things that you have, is as good as having nothing. In fact, it will give you more tragedy, it will bring you more pain at the end of the day than not to have had them. Okay? Genesis 1:6.
And God said, let there... Okay, Genesis 1:6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters.
Pay attention to this. God said, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Now, that is creation. Then, and let it divide. That is order. That is management. And let it divide the waters from the waters. That is management. And that is order. And as a result of these two instructions, you have two additional products from one. This is the only thing that is created at this point, on this stage. But two other products are being produced as a result of placement and proper arrangement. So let's come here. No, don't go. What happened? It's me? Okay, here we are.
Separation and demarcation are instruments of order.
Stop. Remember that for life. Remember that for life. Separation and demarcation. Don't forget that. For you to know management, you must understand those two words. Demarcation and separation. For you to know management, you must understand those two words. Separation and demarcation.
Is it demarcation or demarcation? I think it's
it could be demarcation and demarcation too. Demarcation, eh? Check it in the dictionary.
Yeah,
do you have
because
demarcation?
demarcation means to, I checked immediately.
Huh?
It means to unload or to disembark, like from a ship.
That's demarcation, eh?
Yeah,
so it's demarcation.
Demarcation, actually.
Okay, demarcation.
Yeah,
It's M.
Yeah.
Okay, demarcation. Demarcation. So separation and demarcation. Remember those two words. Demarcation, separation and demarcation are instruments of order. Divide and separate. Now, for X, for example.
For example, yeah.
For example, national
Orders.
borders.
Okay.
National borders lead to countries, nations. That is an example of demarcation and separation. Okay? But this is all talking about how God functions. So that is Genesis 1:6. God said, let's show one of those films about the creation. We are going to see one of the films of how, to prove to us that a big part of God's creation is order and management. So it is everything in the world. God is a God of order for real. It's not just statement. Everything is put in order. In fact, the whole thing that we enjoy today is thanks to order. Okay, let's look at this film. Hello?
Absolutely blew my mind. Just a little journey through our solar system. Everyone knows our planets and sort of how we fit in the story here. You see really quickly that we're not even the biggest deal in our own solar system, but as Earth comes by, you have to know tonight that we are living on a privileged planet. Anyone would tell you we're living at one of the most special...
Sorry, we have to start all over again.
Absolutely blew my mind.
Can you start from the beginning?
Just a little journey through our absolutely blew my mind. Just a little journey through our solar system. Everyone knows our planets and sort of how we fit in, the story here. You see really quickly that we're not even the biggest deal in our own solar system, but as Earth comes by, you have to know tonight that we are living on a privileged planet. Anyone would tell you we're living at one of the most special places, if not the most special place in all of creation. But Neptune comes by and Saturn and then Jupiter, and you're like, okay, we're not all that big, even in our own little cul-de-sac. I just noticed the blue dot fading away is not the Earth. That's Neptune. The Earth has gotten too small to see anymore. Sirius comes by. Little plug for satellite radio. Not the biggest star, but the brightest star that we have found so far. Pollux, which we didn't mention. Arcturus. Such a beautifully named one, Regal. But then the one that messed me up. Our third star, Musifi. Musifi's cousin, WCF. Canis Majoris. And do you know that you couldn't come up here right now with a Sharpie and make a mark on the screen where this approximates the size of our sun? You couldn't even do it. When you look at these in their relative size, we just have to put a little arrow over there that says, if you could put the sun on here, which you can't, it would go somewhere about here. And can you hang on that for me? And when you see this, I don't know what happens to you, but I'll tell you what happens to me. A shrinking feeling comes over me, and it's not a bad shrinking feeling, it's a good shrinking feeling. Because sin, it has a way of shrinking God down in our minds and puffing us up in our own estimation. But just a glance into the universe that God has made resizes everything in a heartbeat. And you realize tonight we are worshiping an unrivaled, uncontested God of all kind of might and power and glory and awe, there's none like Him anywhere in all of creation tonight. We are not here worshiping some little teeny tiny God. We are the teeny tiny ones, you and me. We are small and weak and fragile and frail. We are, you and me tonight, one of 6.5 billion people on this little golf ball-sized planet in this massive universe that God has made. But I'll tell you the miracle of tonight is crazy and crazier to me than the size of any star. Is that though we are but a vapor, you and me, and tiny and frail, we are marked by majesty. And we have been created in the very image of the God who breathes out the stars and put the universe into place. You and I are fashioned and formed and ordained by the God of all creation. We are fearfully and wonderfully made, you and I. We are a miracle. You're a miracle sitting in the building tonight. If I could just remind you just for a moment, you are somebody incredibly special.
Okay, thank you. Now, we will do another one, but before we do it, you see the way everything is put in order. There was a pastor the other day who was talking about tithe. That God paid tithe of the universe and the galaxies and all those kind of, just trying to mesmerize people. But God is a God of order. If you see this movie, you will see that everything is not doing any discovery. It's just telling us how everything is placed in the universe. And that, God, everything is set in place. God is a God of order. Everything works out of order. In fact, God functions only by order. And if we are his creation, if we are the image and likeness of God, order must be our lifestyle. Can you take the microphone? I want you people who are medical doctors here, two of you to come forward. Are you a medical doctor? Okay. I want to hear put on the light.
Success, any medical doctor.
Prove to me that, I want you to prove to our people who are watching us that our whole body is a system in working in order, that God is a God of order through our digestive system. If something is wrong, prove to me as a medical doctor that digestive system shows that God is a God of order.
Amazing. Wow. Well, let me start with this, that every system in our body, the digestive system, circulatory system, respiratory system, it has a control center in the brain. So everything gets information from the brain. For example, you don't just feel hungry automatically. It doesn't just happen. And when you are eating, so you don't just feel I'm full just like that. There is a center in your brain that actually communicates to each cell in your body to tell you that, hey, I need food. So that's what brings the hunger stimulation. So there's a site for hunger in your brain that tells you it's time to eat. And also, when you start eating, there is a center in your brain that tells you I am full. So this center in your brain begins to pass they call it signals to the cells in your digestive system. I mean, in your stomach, in your intestine, and in every part of your body that I am full. Not just about hunger and satiety, even in the system, because it all starts from cells. So we have cells that a coalition of cells leads to the tissues, and then tissues leads to the organs, and then the organs make up the system. So even when you are eating, looking at how it starts from the mouth, it's a whole system, because the moment you get any food into your mouth, right from your saliva, the digestion begins. So digestion does not begin when it gets to your stomach. No, right from your saliva, there are salivary enzymes that begins to break your food down from your mouth. And it's microseconds. Oh. It's not like you are, and then you don't spend so much time thinking about the food in your mouth, and then it goes to your esophagus and down to your. Immediately the food gets into your mouth, the salivary glands begin to release saliva that has several enzymes in them that begins to break food down from your mouth. And then it goes from that to your esophagus. In your esophagus, there are things that we refer to as the cilia. So these are things that actually lead to the passage of food down your throat. It doesn't just happen that food just gets in. So there are stuff that are there that actually lead to the movement of those food bolus from your mouth through your esophagus. All of these things are happening all by themselves. Then it passes through
perfect order.
Perfect. Then it gets through your esophagus to your stomach, because that's the next organ. Then in your stomach, there is even what we refer to it as a sphincter. So it's like a gateway, not the way we have doors here, that controls what comes in and what goes out. In your stomach, there are sphincters that actually lead to the regulation of food. So it doesn't just come up and that's the reason why we refer to this as gastroesophageal reflux. So now, normally, when food gets to your stomach, because of the acidic content of your stomach, the food should not go back. Because the stomach is acidic, so if food from the stomach goes back into your esophagus, it begins to irritate your esophagus because your esophagus is alkaline in nature, but it's only the stomach that has that acidic nature. So even God had created the sphincters in such a way that when food gets into your stomach, it should not go back. And so those things are there as barriers. So those are the sphincters. And then in your stomach, there are a lot of enzymes that also work on your food. And then also we have different...
See how complex God's order is. Okay, that is just the digestive system. What about respiratory system?
Well, the same thing also with respiratory system. It all starts from the brain. So there are centers in your brain also that
recognizes oxygen.
Yeah, that recognizes oxygen, and then also tells you, it also regulates the pressure, your lungs too. The expansion of your lungs and then the contraction of your lungs, they are all regulated in such a way that it has its time. It's the pressure that even, for example, if I get into a place that doesn't have enough oxygen, there is a regulation that I have to hyperventilate. I have to, because I'm trying to get in oxygen into my lungs. And also, that is the reason why people that live in mountains, if you check the configuration of their lungs too, and we that live, it's different. Because everything is done in such perfect order that your respiration, your breathing in, your breathing out.
You want to add?
So everything is so intact, actually.
Come. What's your name again?
Regina.
Regina, please come. You are a medical doctor too.
Kind of.
Huh?
Yeah, a halfway, fifth year medical study.
Good.
Okay, the only unique things that I want to add here on digestive system, apart from the sphincters, there's something that is so unique. Like the food, it's only one way. It's only made like the pulsations, peristalsis of the intestines and the esophagus. That one, it's only move. It's like moving like a snake, eh? Only one, but it's only move from esophagus to the large intestines. It never move from intestines to esophagus to the mouth. That's a very unique way because like food can only go from the mouth downwards. The moment you find it like moving upside down, like opposite, from the intestines back to the esophagus, then something is very, very, very big wrong. That's why the person, that's one can only, once it's okay, it can lead to vomiting. And then you can't just vomit in a normal way, only if you are sick or something, meaning it's now moving, the movement is now moving opposite, from down to up. And now ask yourself, what's make it to move downwards, not up? Is it the gravity or is there something else that God made it so unique that the food cannot move upwards?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. There's something we call disease, and the basic definition of disease is disorder. That's
Order.
it. Disorder.
Disease?
Any disease is called a disorder.
Sickness.
Any sickness in medicine, we define it as a disorder. So anything.
So when you are healthy, it means you are in order.
You are in order. So
when you are sick,
you have a disorder. Yeah.
So God made everything to work by order.
Even the way a baby is born. I mean, there are certain diseases that come at different stages of pregnancy. You have ones that come in the first trimester, those that come in the second trimester, and so on. And then when a baby is born, automatically, the most beautiful sound that a doctor hears is when a baby cries. It means the lungs are working, the lungs are opening. There is even a special chemical, or is it an enzyme? Surfactant. It is designed to help the lungs expand and not to stick to each other. So, and even there is a switch switch of circulation in the uterus. We have different foramens or holes through which blood flows. So blood flows kind of like in reverse, but then when the baby is out, that is supposed to close. Otherwise, we have a condition called patent ductus arteriosus, which means that hole that is supposed to help the baby in the womb to develop properly. If it still continues, it becomes a disorder.
So if the whole of nature and creation is based on order like this, is that not a suggestion to us our communities and societies are supposed to be in perfect order too? Yeah. Because you said sickness, any kind of sickness is disorder. Mm-hmm. So any kind of social ills, abnormality, economic problems, social problems in the society is also as a result of what? Order. Lack of order. It means, therefore, if human body is healthy and not sick, only when it is in order, everybody is perfectly okay. Which means society too, if we could put society in order, which means order, therefore, is supposed to be the number one concern of every society and country. That's why America was doing that. That's why Germany is like that. If we could understand that there is nothing more important in the society than order. Can you remember Lagos that we showed yesterday? The street. So the most number one priority, therefore, in any nation is to provide and make sure that order is in place. I don't know. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
But in our society, it's like order is one thing that nobody ever talks about. Yes. But that is actually the only thing that we need to put in place for progress and for everybody, for the society not to be sick. And that's what we don't have.
And even at that, as we went through Genesis, going through order, I realized that in medicine, you classify diseases. You have
order.
Yeah, you have to order them. Otherwise, you'll be treating the wrong disease. Wow. For example, we have
if
diabetes.
They are not in the right order.
If they are not in the right order. Yeah. Yeah.
International classification of diseases.
Yeah.
That in every country.
Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah, so you have to know the classification in order to have the right treatment. Otherwise, you'll have, and there are also stages. So even in those classifications, there are stages. At this point,
which means societies also must be classified.
Exactly.
And societies also must be arranged. So why is it that people don't apply this? Because that's what I've understood with our people in Africa. They go to school, they study their medicine, but they don't apply the principles everywhere else. And this is where God has taught me. I know that life is based on laws and principles. So principles that work in medicine, that's exactly, it means that society too must be based on principles. So if we know that life is based on principles and laws, that is how things are done. You'll be able to apply that everywhere.
Yes. I wanted to say that, for me, one of the greatest arguments for the existence of God is actually order.
Order, yes.
I think it is the greatest argument that because when the human body is opened up, the way everything is so structured, can only be the work of a perfect architect.
Intelligent.
Perfect. This is amazing. In fact, if I'm to turn myself upside down and I'm chewing food, the food will still not go the other way. I will still digest. That food will still go the right way. It's still going to go the right way. That food will still go. You can imagine that kind of precision, that kind of order. So when I was in medical school, every disease that we were learning was basically something. Whenever something goes just 1 degree out of order, it becomes a disease, an abnormal.
See the importance of order? Now you are seeing the importance of this topic I'm talking about. Can you imagine if order is in primary school, from kindergarten to primary school, secondary school, if we can attain order alone in Nigeria, order alone on the roads, the instructions, every order alone. And do you know, I don't even think anybody in Nigeria is interested in going to study order or law and order university. I don't even think we have courses like law and order in our universities. I don't even think we have degrees like this. And nobody values this like this. Even if you talk about management, it's only business management we have. No social management, no, so community management, no community admin. All those things, they are not even valued. Only doctor and lawyer. Oh, we are not applying principle to everything. I just wish people are hearing me today.
Yes.
I just wish you people are hearing me and other people are hearing me too. How I wish we could hear the whole undertoning principle of what I'm talking about.
Yes, it was really that because when I was in school, they would tell to us about this is how the disease began, this is how. But in my own mind, I was picturing that these things that can actually be prevented. So many disorders, many diseases, they are just problems of management. Of
disorder.
And we give so much attention to how the disease came about, to the pathogenesis. We talk about the cures, the use of drugs, instead of the prevention of the diseases. So a lot, in fact, in public health clearly says that about 80% of diseases can actually be prevented just using policies, just using laws. Putting orders in place. If you don't want people to smoke cigarettes, increase the value-added tax, increase the taxation on, make these things expensive. Just basic things like that. So
keep them from smoking. You keep them from diseases.
Yes. So many of those things can be prevented. And then when I got into business school, which I am right now, they talk a lot about very good topics: budgeting, accounting, management, how to manage an organization, how to increase the morale of your staff and things like that. But everything is just making sense to me right now on why we actually treat all of those topics. Everything they are trying to teach in business school is order.
Just because of, thanks to this topic.
Thanks to this topic.
It's now making everything is coming together.
It's not becoming old, because I now understand either we are talking about finances of an organization or we are talking about managing people.
The basis of anything in society is what?
Order.
Budgeting, financing, health, anything. At the root of everything is order. That's why Genesis, even in Genesis, at the story of creation, everybody is thinking it's story of creation. I've never heard anybody say it's a story of order. Creation of order.
Nobody has said that.
I've never heard it before. No. I am teaching it, but I never heard it before. But it is really the foundation of order. God built everything on order. That's how order is important.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I just want to add again to my fellow colleague what he said. When he was defining that, like if any sickness is a disorder, and then here as we are in the topic of order, something just come across my mind like, okay, if any sickness is a disorder, what's come to my mind is that I just started thinking about the definition of health by the World Organization. Meaning that if a person is sick, then there's a disorder in that person. Things are not in order. And then according to the definitions of World Health Organization, the person is only health, like they said, health. What is, the definition of health by the World Health Organization? They said health, it's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of diseases or infirmity. Meaning that if the person is having if the person is not sick, like everything is in order, and also the social well-being must be in order, the mental of that person must be in order. That's how I understand it. And then it's really making a big sense now.
So, health is order. Social health is social when socially everything is in order. Mental health is when mentally everything is functioning the way they are supposed to function, or when everything is in order.
So, I want to come from the mental health
aspect. There are some chemicals in the brain that regulates the activity of the brain, and in fact, the whole nervous system. They are called neurotransmitters. And this is the underlying factor why people are advised against substance abuse. Because every substance you take in contains bits and element of this neurotransmitter. So the idea is that your body is already producing enough. So anyone you're bringing in from outside is causing a disorder. That's why alcohol leads to stupor. Not because your body does not need alcohol, but your body produces exactly the content it needs from rice, from carbohydrate, from bread that you eat. So by the time you are consuming an externally induced alcohol, you get to stupor because now you've caused a disorder, in a disbalance and a disorder in the system. So for example, when you look at, and this comes to mental health, and when you look at things like depression, when you look at schizophrenia, then we are trying to look at what are the causes. Now, most of these things have not really been established, but they point to the disbalance of neurotransmitters. So you mean someone can just go crazy, all because catecholamine. Catecholamine is noradrenaline and adrenaline hormones. Has a problem? So you mean a person can go crazy just because the dopamine has a problem? Just dopamine, or you know, something like the way you drink water and you say you are dehydrated. So just dopamine can make a whole man lose the essence of being a man. Just one, dopamine. So you find out that the way the body has been structured, one thing in the body must not
go out of order.
Not go out of order. Let me give you an example of using another part of the body now. Do you know what is called the appendix?
Yes.
You will never know the function of your appendix in the body until you have appendicitis. You will never know that thing is there. That's why when doctors suspect appendicitis and they are wrong, what they do is they just remove it once and for all. Why do they remove it? Because if the scar is there and they did not remove it, the next doctor will be thinking it's been removed. So the next doctor will be thinking that this thing has been removed. So if now you now suffer appendicitis in the future, the doctor will not be thinking of appendicitis. So that small thing that actually probably it looks like your body can do without, until the day is out of order, you realize. Now let's go away from that. How many of us? Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
Is it green?
Yes, green. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at the function, how pain functions. Pain. Okay. In any part of the body. You realize that the pain on on your foot like this, just on one little toe, the way it can cause you discomfort. Sometimes you even wish that it's your it's your hand that is paining you. Just things must not be out of order. Once it's out of order, you cannot imagine how great the consequences will be. So that's why we always also try to be in order and look at it now. Our lifestyle causes disorder on our health, right? And then disorganize our body. For example, you are eating anyhow, eating anyhow. You develop what? Obesity.
Order has been violated.
Yeah, you violated order, so you develop obesity. From obesity, you now start the risk of high blood pressure. From there, you stand the risk of diabetes mellitus. You know? So just
please, I want to appeal to everybody that is watching now. Please, let's go and share this message. Do you think this message needs to go all over to Nigerian society, that order? Do you see the American society, the way they teach and put order in everything? That development is not by accident. If this lesson alone, if this is the only thing I could bring to my world and generation and to Africans, that order is the most important need. Not even money, not even oil. But Nigeria will be talking about natural resources. And we have so much oil. We have to get this. Biafra will say, oh, you are not giving us oil enough. Oh, the South Side will say, oh, we didn't get percentage. What happens to resources when order is lacking?
It becomes a cause.
It becomes a cause.
That's why even now, America knows so well about order that data has become the biggest resource.
Yeah, it's the biggest wealth.
That's
why Facebook and all those things, they are more influential than government, because they control more data than than the government of a nation.
Because it just comes from the order of codes, getting things in place. Even right now, all of us know about cryptocurrency, right? Yeah. It's the next order. But where is it coming from? Just the order of some cryptographs.
Yeah. Data.
So America has the highest reserve. In fact, not just reserve in terms of what they are buying. In their gulfs, their rivers, there is a huge deposit of mineral resources there. Yeah. But wise nations now know that it's not about the resource, it's about the order.
Yeah.
So they have plans, and that's why they have plans for the next 30 years. Dubai recently unveiled a smart city. They unveiled 2000 was it 85 or so? What they want the new prince, what they wants to. So they have plans for the next coming year.
Plans are order.
You will find out that America has plans for Nigeria for the next 50 years that we don't even have for ourselves.
Yeah.
They know what they want to do with us in the next 50 years, and we don't even know that for ourselves. So for me, I align myself really with what Pastor Sunday is saying. When we get order, when we begin to engage the principle of order, then we'll see that the small resource that you have is enough. My mom used to say something when I was younger, because I was quite careless, I lose things. So she would tell me, you know what, Victor, you should always have things in addition to what you've had. So she always told me to take care of this one thing that I have, so that when I have the next one, it will now be true. So how did I apply that, sir? When I was in first year, I had, apart from the normal shoe I wear because after I moved from the city I was, and the Nigerian shoes, I left it there. So by the time I came, I started a new life. I had just one good church shoe and one blue shoe like this. In fact, when you see that shoe from 20 meters, you already know it's me. That shoe, if I leave that shoe in my hostel and I go barefooted, it will trace me to where I'm going to. That shoe was just me. So I had just that one. But because of what I learned from my mom, I used that one and I got one more. And I began to use it interchangeably. And little by little, I was buying one more shoe, using them, and they are still in good condition. So when you go to my closet now, not for the boasting of having materialism, but you will see shoes of 8 years old, of 8 years, that are still in good conditions. So when I buy one more today, it's like I have 15. So in a whole year, I may not buy more than 2 shoes, but that makes it 16. Just because I'm able to use my shoe well. Yana is looking at this one. So when you look at this one, I've had it it's my rugged issue. So I've had it for 3 years going now. So it's able to go through the rough places for me. So because I know how to use what to wear, I will not be wearing the flat shoe those ones that are a little suede in nature.
Anyway, just order. So everything is about order. If we are able to put things in order,
yes, sir,
things will be perfect. Things will be healthy. Society will be healthy. We are only having 20 minutes to go, and I want to listen to the practical assessment of what you people have learned. You know how we do it. If you don't stand up, if you don't come forward, you'll be made to stand up. So let's hear, we'll continue the lesson in the evening, but let's hear the practical feedback from all of you of what you gain or what you discover in this class. Please come forward. I don't think we need the light. Do we need the light?
Wow,
this is... Put the light off. Yeah.
So this is really mind-blowing, really. Actually, the most significant thing to me right now, even though, I don't know, it's just like a light bulb moment. that actually the absence of disease. I mean, when you are healthy, what makes us healthy is when it's order. When
everything functions in their
when
place.
everything functions, when everything functions in its own place. So we as individuals, if there's something that is wrong, or if something is not in order, it's out of order, then we are not healthy. And that goes to actually our community, society as well. If there's no order in society, that means we are in disorder. There is disorderliness.
We are sick.
We are sick.
The society is sick.
So that's what I've taken from this.
Okay, next one.
Lecture,
next person.
Actually.
Welcome. You are the one who is in love with order.
Thank you, sir.
And you missed yesterday.
No, I was told to come today, to start today.
Yeah, I said you missed yesterday.
Yes, sir. Like I was told to.
I said you missed yesterday.
I didn't miss, sir. I watched it on the YouTube.
Come here.
Like you know, the teaching has been so. I didn't expect it this way. It's so broad and so mind blowing.
Amen.
I will start by saying that, like what this lady started with, that every man like is created with the spirit of order. From childhood is like inbuilt into every human's body. Like like myself, for example, now from my childhood, I know that there are some things my parents didn't teach me, but I was the one managing the house without it teaching me. At time before they wake up in the morning,
so order is in our nature.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that. For myself, I experienced that as a child. Before they wake up in the morning, at times I will put everything in order before they will wake up, and they'll be greeting me. And apart from that, when again, for us to like really live a life of order, we need external,
Anything you people are going to be saying, I want you people to apply them to Nigeria and Africa. I'm Nigeria freak now, so we have to see at the application of all these teachings. Because somebody just told me, don't just talk about the problem, talk about the solution. I thought I was talking about solution. I didn't know I was just talking about problem. So let's always apply these things to our situation.
Yeah, so as humans, we need external bodies to enforce,
like Germany.
Laws. Yeah, we need it. Like, for example, now, my mother...
Can you live in Germany?
Of course, like me, I like to stay in a place where they are implementing order. Like my mom, if she asks me to cook, and no matter how the food might taste like nice, if I do not clean up the kitchen after cooking, that my work is like nothing. She would like say, you don't do it. Like she will condemn my work entirely. That's an external force that was helping me. And my dad, his own, is even if you are able to eat probably around 8, and you say you want to keep the plate till tomorrow you wash, you say no. So far as you have the strength to eat that food that time, go and wash it. So like we need external forces like to really shaping us.
So the nation too must use force.
Yes, institutions to really like force us to do something, because the human spirit has this, disobedient kind of life. But
it's just like Nigeria. Anybody remember Nigeria last year? Nigeria was boiling because of what they call it. Biafra. But when external force came, now it's like it's never even happened. Everything is just quiet. You see, order needs enforcement.
Yeah, and like the other area I want to point out is that, one of the sources of order I think is priority. Like for example, now if like this European have discovered that they have human beings as number one priority. And for them to like, maintain these people that they value so much as their number one priority, they set things in order for them. They implement laws, they make things easier for them, enforce like laws and all that to ensure that they live a beautiful life. But like if you take, for example, like in our part of the world, I discover like from my own seeing, I feel human is at probably
least.
second, let me say second. And like stomach is first. If you have stomach as your basis of living, that means you can do anything to make sure you are okay without minding the person
Human
behind. Yes. So
I will not say it's stomach. I will say maybe greed, money.
wealth or riches, I just put it stomach because that's where it will still end.
Stomach infrastructure.
Yeah, so if they set things in order, I think it will like
Okay, who is
put
the
in
next
mind.
person?
Yeah.
So these classes today, what was it doing to you? What are your decisions and conclusions?
Yeah, I'm going back from what he said on priority. I was just thinking, I've never thought about order from the book of Genesis that you read. Like you said, we've always seen it just as a creation story. And it just goes to show that God's priority is order. Everything God did, God started with order. And that should be our priority. That's the foundation. And one other thing I got from all the medical doctors that spoke is that there is order, there is principle in everything in nature. And we should begin to look at nature as our teacher, learn from nature, and start to implement it in our lives and in our society.
What could Nigeria do using this principle alone? Or what could Nigeria become using just this principle?
Like you said in one of your books, Nigeria can actually become the greatest nation.
Now you are believing.
Yeah, yeah.
At least I got the believer. Yeah. So you mean?
Honestly.
Tell me about it. Where is
because the reason because
because you know most people, even people on DSA platform, they think I just use the title just to sell book, or I'm just just a title, but you just call it like that. Right? In fact, people are not buying this book because they don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are refusing to buy the book because they think, but that's not possible now.
Yeah.
But do you really believe it, or you just said it?
Sir, I believe it, honestly.
Because if you know the principles,
it's just like...
If you know laws, if any life is based on, I don't know how to, maybe I should cut myself and divide it for everyone. If you know that life is based on principles, if anybody ever did anything, if you master the ways and the principles and the laws behind that person doing that thing, just like we talk about Germany now, and all these principles, if we will dedicate ourselves to observing the laws and principles, there is no way we will not create another Germany like that. Or another US like that. You see all the rules? Now tell me why you say even this thing is possible.
Yeah, the reason why I said that is because God is the creator of principles. He's the creator of law. He's the creator of order. He's the one who brought order. And what you are teaching us is actually kingdom values. So it's the values that is in the kingdom of heaven that you're trying to bring on earth. Now, look at the population of Christians alone in Nigeria. Now, let's leave every other faith, every other religion. Let's just say that every Christian in Nigeria imbibes this, what we are learning, imbibes this.
And I'm sure there will be Muslims who will imbibe it too. Muslims will be imbibed it too. In fact, even Muslims might be faster in imbibing some of these things.
It will transform.
Because they have Genesis too in their Quran.
Yeah, yeah. It will, honestly, just imagine the impact that you as a person, as an individual, is making in this world.
Already.
Imagine if we have 100 or 200 or 1,000 of DSA in Nigeria. What will happen? So that's why it's so
okay,
glaring.
What about if I say Nigeria economy can overtake American economy?
Sir, it is.
People don't buy this one too. Because they are saying Pastor Sunday is just lost. I think they think I've lost my mind. But you being in HMT now and hearing these things and feeling it.
And just the second day.
Don't you? It is just the second day. I'm not even the second day. Something I've not even finished it. We are only about 20 or 30% in the second day's class. We have not even finished it. And by the time I finish, after since I have 16 sessions that I'm going to do with you. By the time I finish, you'll be thinking it's so easy. In fact, everything is so easy. But right now, when I'm talking about it and I wrote book, people are not even, in fact, they are buying other books, you know, but these ones, nobody is even picking them up. But now, even you are now not even me saying it again. Because this thing I'm just saying now, this is just one principle that I've not even written in these ones. Even in these books, this principle I'm talking about is not even included. In this book, there are other principles why I said we can overtake America and become the greatest country. Not even talking about this one yet. This one, I'm not even seeing it as a principle. This one is just elementary for me. Order. This principle I'm teaching you of order now, for me, it's so elementary. It is so, it's even a shame for me that I'm talking about. For me, it is like saying you are telling somebody, you go and wash your teeth. That's what this is like for me. It's so elementary for me. I don't even think I should be talking about it. But I'm forced to talk about it because I discover, wait, people don't know this thing, though.
We don't at all.
And this is so elementary and basic that even if we apply this one alone, but apart from this, I still have many other principles that I know we can use to fix Nigeria. This is just the basic, elementary, the foundation for me. Make you continue.
Yeah, I'm really convinced.
But even you are now convinced that Nigeria can be fixed.
I'm convinced, and I'll say saying that it is possible is actually an understatement. It's I don't know. It will be just natural. It will be just natural if we can actually just take these things and run with it. Like Decency has taught us that if anybody can do anything, then it means it is possible. Like the story of the 4-minute mile? For so many years, nobody could run a mile under 4 minutes until somebody broke that record. And ever since then, people have been breaking it. Like in sprint, for example, there was a time where nobody had ever run below 10 seconds, 100 meters in below 10 seconds. That was just the bar until somebody broke it. And today we've seen people break record and over and over again. So if DSA has brought the kingdom values in Ukraine and has affected the whole of Europe, and God did it with him, he's telling us that we can also do it. We can also do it. And he's pouring out his life into us. So if we take those things that he has learned and we can run with it with the same passion and with the same faith and commitment, tenacity that he's teaching us, the intensity, there's no way Nigeria will not change. There is no way. So I honestly believe that it's possible in our lifetime.
Look at that rubbish that we were talking about Lagos yesterday. And somebody was coming online to say that we shouldn't bash Lagos. We shouldn't put Nigeria down. That these things are not really as bad as we are trying to make. But a woman cooking,
so people are living in a dream world.
A woman cooking right in the middle of the road. You are telling me I'm bashing? Am I the one who put her there? We are seeing real life pictures, and you are telling me I'm the one who is at fault. Because I know order. I know that one little thing, order, can fix everything. I don't say I'm the one to blame. Just because I know how things are supposed to function. And I show you Los Angeles, so that ask more people how everything is working. Mike? It's time. Okay, make you finish.
No, I've just said it because I just believe that honestly it's possible. When we leave HMT, we should leave here with a different mindset. Because
the only problem I have, I will tell you, is that I cannot get Nigerian people to listen to me. That's my only problem. Because even if the government doesn't listen, let them not listen. But if I could get the people, to listen to what the value systems that I'm proposing and I'm talking about, even that one is enough to make something change. But if I will get the government to listen and to apply the things I'm talking about, you will see that we can build a new country. That's why I'm talking about me going to Africa, because I know strategies and tactics to use to get the government to listen. And I also know what to do to get people to listen. That's why I'm who I am. I know how to do it, believe me. And one day, if you want, we'll talk about it too. How to make why I'm sure that the government will listen to me. And why even they don't want to listen, I know how to compel them to listen. I'm an expert in this. And I know also what to do to make the people listen to me. And I know how to do to compel them to listen to me too. So, but I need to, that's why I'm saying when the time comes, what I'm just doing now is just the groundwork. But you people are the first fruits. Because you are learning that, so there are solutions. Everything comes from the invisible world. Ideas. And you are getting ideas now. Wow.
I think that's, lastly, I think that's where we come in as disciples. Because it's just the principle that Jesus Christ laid for us. He poured his life into 12, and the 12 went out to transform the world. So I think that's where we come in as disciples of DSA. The values and the teachings we are getting, if we can believe in it and go out there and replicate, there's no way things will change.
Maybe somebody can speak. We still have 4 minutes.
It's actually a very sad day for me because all the things that we've been taught from being in Egypt before we started looking for the promised land, it's always about me, I, myself. When you were talking about the book about Nigeria, I'm not gonna lie, I've not even touched one. I wouldn't even buy it. But listen,
not be you alone. Nobody they buy.
It's not just. I'm just saying the truth. That's why I'm saying it. Because if I want to go and buy DSA's book, even money will make you rich. Why people bought it was because they were hearing the explanation of what is inside. But from the outside, they are not sure if they should read it because it's saying, who is saying money will make somebody rich again? How can somebody say money will make somebody rich? Don't be money everybody they look for. We are all looking for money. And then somebody is now writing and saying money will make you rich. I don't want to read that kind of But by the time you begin to explain to the person that it is to teach you how to start saving your money, say, what's the name of that book again? Now they want to read it because they have heard that this is how to save your money and then how to multiply it and how to invest it. And where is the book? I know how many times I've said to people, there's a book called Money Will Make You Rich. The guy said, which kind of topic be that one? If money will make you rich, what are we doing in Europe? What are we doing in Europe? And I said to him, what the book is all about is to teach you how to multiply money. He said, multiplication. Multiply. Are you serious? Where I go buy them? And that's how so many people that they don't even when I share it on Facebook, they don't follow. But some of them have bought this book. They are reading it, and they are saying, "Man, that man they make sense. So that thing where that man they talk makes sense." But still, they don't want to be friends with the man. But what he's giving to them is making sense.
But the Nigerian book, why are they neglecting it? I said Nigeria can become great because nobody is the big.
Because nobody believes Nigeria will be great again. I'm being honest. We don't believe, even though you are saying it, even though you are writing about it, we don't believe. Until now that you're talking about law and order, that even my own mindset is changing, that it's like, this thing is true. So we grew up in a place where the only thing you are thinking, you are looking
it's
for
about yourself.
It's about yourself. When you see a book that is saying this is how to make money, everybody wants to buy that book. This is the route to take, and if you follow this route, you will make money. Everybody wants that particular one. But when you're talking about things that will benefit others, things that will benefit us as a society, things that will benefit every one of us, nobody is looking for it. So it's a new thing for me today. This other thing I've never understood order to be this way until today. So I'm really grateful for what I've
do you
received
think
today.
this principle of order can help Nigeria?
If this principle can be applied in Nigeria, Nigeria will even be better than Germany.
Yeah.
It will even be better than the America.
Of course.
It will be better than so many places because
And
you
I
can,
wonder why
you can
people are not
project and
seeing
see
it.
it now.